This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
The legendary actor and comedian Adam Sandler set to take over Grand Casino Arena this Wednesday, and the Power Trip is your last shot at tickets. Listen to the Power You definitely farted, Max. Caller number 9, 1-800-320-5326.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll have a few more chances tomorrow. Good luck.
Just some wisdom, Mr. Kindness. Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. It's going to be a great Thanksgiving.
Hawk invited himself over.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Marnie's over there. This is Rocket Club. Marnie's over there. My beloved Johnny Bones is over there. Cory's back from traveling abroad.
Hi.
Whoa.
Brought back some jewels. Very interesting necklaces and stuff.
Wish, man.
When did you...
They look good.
They look good on you. The crown's a bit much.
Yeah, again, not a coincidence. I was there a day and a half before the place was robbed.
Unbelievable.
Not a coincidence.
Unbelievable. But also, you know what, Pat? I don't think you've ever been on the air with us, even when we were overseas and we were serving our troops. Have you ever been on the Power Trip Morning Show before?
You know, I've been here a few times for the troops projects, and I think I was on briefly when we were in Kuwait together, which was fabulous, and appreciate all you guys do for serving our troops for sure.
Yeah, and we can talk more about that. We also obviously want to talk to you about your book, and I don't know how much you're willing or even able to talk about what might happen in the future, but I definitely want to talk more about serving our troops. But first, a season on the drink. Now, listen, we're having you in because your book is sweeping the nation. You're a friend of the show, obviously. It's a great story, and as I mentioned before we went to break, I know this is going to be a Lifetime movie at the very least, maybe a Netflix thing, maybe a major release, and we want to be in the movie, A Season on the Drink.
You're absolutely in it, Hawk, and anybody who wants to be in here can definitely be in it, and I'm really excited about it. And people have talked about it as a movie. Right now it's a book. It is all over the country. I did go to the Vikings game in Dublin, and it was on sale in Dublin and Belfast as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
That must feel cool, right?
That was pretty
come
cool.
on.
I stopped in the store in Belfast and said hi to a bunch of folks, and that was really cool. So, but it's a really special story, and I'm excited to get it out there locally here, and I just appreciate the chance to be here and talk about it and really kind of spread the story that I heard, way back in the late 80s of something that really special that happened in St. Paul.
Now, it's listed as fiction, but is it based on a true story? Is that the way it goes?
It's about 85-90% true, and it's a story I heard when I was a Vista volunteer way back in the day, making $198 a month working at Catholic Charities.
Would you quit bragging, please?
I make a big dollar in St. Paul.
Couldn't they just round it up and make it 200?
I thought about that, trust me.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, beers were $2 at O'Gara's back then. I could have used it.
Oh, I miss O'Gara's. I love that place. So for people who are unfamiliar, tell us the story behind A Season on the Drink.
Yeah, well, it is really a true story that I heard way back in the 80s, and it's about a group of chronic alcoholics that lived in a home for chronic alcoholics in St. Paul called the St. Anthony Residence. And in the late 80s, they formed a softball team. They were playing pickup softball in St. Paul. And these folks are really kind of the forgotten of our community who had been to treatment, 10 to 20 times and end up living at the St. Anthony Residence, which is a wet house where you get $48 a day, a room over your head, and 3 squares a day. And they formed a softball team, and they got organized. Catholic Charities organized them, got them uniforms, like the longest yard type thing almost. And they played against corporate teams. And I don't want to give everything away, but you can kind of guess what happened. They did very well against all these corporate teams, and then really kind of showed everybody that, there is hope. They're no different than us. So on the baseball diamond, the softball diamond, if you will, we are all at the end of the day created equal. And so it was a story that I heard, and I worked at Catholic Charities for a few years longer and got to really know my main character, whose name is real, Marty Peterson, who played baseball at the University of Minnesota.
Wow.
And, he kind of anchored this incredible team of chronic alcoholics who, some of them were intoxicated. They were all smoking while they were playing. And,
That's a power move.
Lucky.
He's got a Marlboro in his mouth, right? I mean,
right. Two true stories of piles of cigarette butts near second base when you're sliding into second. But really, it's there's a lot of sadness in it, a lot of humor in it. But really, the story that I would say probably never happened. A group of people that in this community and in any community is almost completely forgotten. And they show the rest of us that, hey, we're here. We're not forgotten. This is who we are, so we tell them, as they say,
Yeah.
And it was a special season, and I really wanted to tell that story.
Story of sticking together and having each other's back, right?
Absolutely. Camaraderie, in alcoholism back at the wet house, but then it kind of transferred to the field. And, some of them got out of there and, got sober and got jobs, and some of them didn't. And so it was really kind of this one moment that I learned in my life that, how you can treat people and how you look at people who are, quote unquote, the lowest of the low in our community, but ain't no different than me, know? And so I really, it's guided me for 40 years, and I want to tell the story, and there the book is here.
Again, that's our guest is Pat Harris. And by the way, we will have Jonathan Greenard on at the bottom of the hour for those of you Viking fans. Stick around for that. But the book is called A Season on the Drink. Is it true? I don't want to give away the ending. And Cory, I think you and I were talking about this before the show. At the end of the story, is it true that pole ads buy the team and sell it?
Or they choose not to sell it, maybe.
Yeah. Brilliant. This team has more of a payroll.
But it's funny, we did track the 86 Twins, and it's legit how we tracked it. So, these guys, won it all in 86. There you go. I said it. And, which is pretty obvious. And then 87, the Twins win it all. And, it's just that, you look at how sports can really kind of guide people. People ask me all the time, does sports matter? And, I remember my dad being in a nursing home, and every TV had the Vikings game on. Every TV had the Twins game on. And for these folks that really were the most down and out in our community, this game with softball really mattered to them. And that's why I'm really excited to tell this story. I mean, it's a pretty special story, and it's got a lot of history, a lot of everything in it.
So, is this your first book? First time you've really been an author?
It is my first time as an author.
Okay, so tell me about that process. Like, for instance, what about it? What about this? Or how did you get to the point where you're like, I'm going to dedicate my life to writing this book about this 1986 softball team, and you couldn't let go of it? Like, how did that work?
Well, I couldn't let go of the story, so I knew I had to write it. And, you get married, you have kids. I ran for office. We served steak, 145,000 steaks.
You've got other things going on. Right, yeah, we get it.
And I think I kind of did a hockey thing where I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and really did a lot of work and stayed up really late and really dedicated myself to telling the story that I thought was important. And probably the last, how we all try to write books, and I spent about 30 years trying to write a book. Right. And then I really sat down, and it was about 5 years ago, and said that, here we are, we're getting older. I got to tell this story. I got to tell this story about Marty and this ragtag team. I got to tell other people about it. And it was that 4 o'clock in the morning thing, when you got little kids, you own your house from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., and it was fabulous.
Do you recognize what about that story grabbed you? Like, do you recognize the value that you're reflecting in that story that you couldn't let go of it?
Yeah, and I hope it comes out in the book. Are? Yeah, I mean, it really is about that perception of how we look at everybody, and then we all have soul, we all have humanity, and I got real emotional when I wrote the end on the book. Of course, I had to edit it later, but it was really emotional to be able to say that these guys mattered to me, and I hope they matter to you, and I hope everybody like that all over the place matters to all of us, and that's why I wanted to write it. And it was a process to write it. I'm just a financial professional.
Right.
I mean, me too.
How many of those guys?
So long.
How many of those guys are still alive or were alive when you were writing the book, so that you could get their firsthand account? Like, what percentage of that team is still with us?
I interviewed many of them back in the day, and I would say all the team are no longer with us.
Oh, wow.
And some through alcoholism, and some through other reasons. And I interviewed a lot of the staff at Catholic Charities. There was a very powerful lady, the Queen, who ran housing at Catholic Charities, and she would just come into a room and command it. And she was the one that demanded that the team be organized and have uniforms. And so I talked to them, and I talked to everybody about it, and I did all those interviews and talked to family members, and did a lot of that normal research, and really got to this point where I got really a true story.
So when was the research done?
That was done when I was a little younger and had a little more time.
Sure.
I remember I rented an office for a while, and then I ran out of money and didn't have an office for a while.
Right.
I did that and pretended that I was writing, and I couldn't do it. But I definitely got all the research done early and spent a lot of time on that, and really got to this point where people could read the book and realize that this thing did really happen. And it really mattered to these people.
So this has been taking up sort of mental bandwidth for decades.
It really has. And it's one of these things that I want to tell a story so I could hope it could guide people like it's guided me, and how I treat people, and in anything that I've ever done in my life.
And how about that? I mean, again, we talked about serving our troops, and you're one of the spearheads behind it. I mean, you're one of the people who conducts it, makes it happen, goes over and does the actual serving. I'm going to guess that has a lot to do with and got its roots started right here with this story.
It really did. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, when we started serving our troops, it was, we can have a steak at Mancini's and our soldiers can't. So let's give them what we can have. And it was actually the same thing as, let's make sure we're thinking about people that maybe aren't doing the same thing that we are, and make sure that they're getting the same things that we are. And that's how we started serving our troops. And this story is different than that, but the whole premise is really the same. It's let's treat everybody the same.
Just for a couple of moments, if you wouldn't mind, Pat Harris, again, the book is called A Season on the Drink. You can get it literally anywhere. If you're in Ireland today and you're listening to it, pick it up over there. Tell us about serving our troops and what you guys do, and if it's going to be happening again soon, and what the logistics are like for that.
We're still at it. I mean, it still matters. We still have soldiers that are deployed overseas. We still have more soldiers from Minnesota that will be deployed overseas. And so, we're looking at another project, perhaps in the Africa region, where we'll look to the community, look to our partners, Skinner's, Mancini's, Nook, Shamrock, Colossal, Stouts, and all these people. And Shells this time. I think we might be able to bring beer at our next one.
Whoa, wow.
Which would be amazing. And
bonuses in.
Yeah. And
He just enlisted.
but so we're still doing it, and we're really appreciative of Chris Hockey and everybody here at KFAN who comes with us and then does the Power Trip Live, which is just an amazing experience for the soldiers, and really spreads our message of letting people know about deployments and what they're doing. So we're still at it, and we're still doing what we're trying to do, which is to send a special message from home. And like I said about the book, it is, have our soldiers be able to have the same thing that we would have at home. And that's why, the book is definitely part of that. And we're still going to be doing serving our troops, and still, excited about partnering with KFAN and all our local partners on that, and love to have you join us.
It was life-changing, wasn't it, Saucy? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was one of the greatest moments in my life. It was one of the most humbling moments in my life. And when one of the gentlemen walked up and said, "I got to have a steak with my daughter," it was was unbelievable.
Yeah, because we link up as well on video chats between the families. It's really something to see, and the entire time planning to go over there the first time, just wondering, are we going to be in people's way? Are they going to even care for they cared so much.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. So I thank you for that, Pat, and we're looking forward to being a part of it again. I know Zach's been a part of it, and we'll do it again. You let us know how we can help. But again, the book is A Season on the Drink, and that's Pat Harris. He's the author, and good luck and congratulations on getting this thing done and out into the world, and I'm sure it's going to change some lives, man.
Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. Absolutely. All right. Jonathan Greenard next.
Yeah, we'll do some headlines. We'll talk to Jonathan Greenard. One final segment of the Power Trip Morning Show with Marnie Gellner and John Bonus on The Fan.
The Fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, if you want a copy of the book A Season on the Drink, I've got them right here. What's the phone number? 1-800-320-5326. Is that right? 1-800-320-5326. And look at these baseball cards from 1987 with the gum inside it, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Unopened. So one pack of gum and one book from Pat Harris, A Season on the Drink. That we were talking, guys, and Boney. Maybe you've gotten a little bit of this. You know what? There's so much about St. Paul that and that community that I love.
Yep.
And it's, I think I just out of nowhere, it hit me when I was talking to Pat just now. It's the friendship. You know, like you go to a bar anywhere, a lot of places, and you walk into a small town bar and they look at you like, who in the sweet hell are you? You walk into a bar in St. Paul and they're like, come on in, what's your name?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just how that community feels.
Yep.
And I love that, man. I love that.
St. Paul is its own neighborhood.
Yeah.
And St. Paul loves itself some St. Paul, but they are not afraid of outsiders.
Yeah.
Like that is, they are. I love my brother. We
love
grew
your
up in
brother,
Minneapolis
too.
and Bloomington. He
Same.
ended up wanting to live in St. Paul because he just enjoyed the vibe so much. I know,
And then he went there and he hated it so much that he moved to New Zealand.
Melbourne, Australia, but yeah,
Whatever. Same thing.
Right, yeah.
Hey, Sauce.
Yeah.
Speaking of your brother, did you see who's going to be in Las Vegas on Thursday night?
Please tell me, Dov.
Well, since it's not going to be Dov, it has to be the Insane Clown Posse.
That's correct.
Where?
Oh, are you kidding me?
ICP Thursday night.
Are they playing the parking lot?
Oh no, I can't make it because we have to do this Vikings watch party.
It doesn't start till like 9.
He would go if
No,
he were
I
going
have to
with us.
listen to Fan Line.
Well,
Yeah.
Listen, Cory, you're not invited. What do you
Good.
do that?
Oh no, the Juggalos don't
wait a minute,
want me
hold on.
there.
Juggalo newsletter.
What's the name of that publication? Sauce, you know.
Yeah.
No, Sauce, you know.
The Juggalos
Publication is
is the
Do you want me to help you?
Posse Poetry.
Can I help you?
Posse Poetry.
Yeah, that's
go.
their
You
newsletter.
do it.
Juggle them zonkers.
I mean,
That's a terrible name.
Oh, yeah, by the way, when you were gone, Cory, his new favorite word is zonkers.
I wouldn't say it's top 5.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's favorite.
should we do
A little
headlines?
controversy over the initials game while you were gone. You heard about Melon Ball, Melon Baller.
Yeah, what do you feel
I
about
mean, Zach
that?
just can't get
I
a
can't get it.
smooth, easy.
Smooth up in you.
I think somebody said it during the game. A
That
melon
he can
ball
get.
is what they create, but a melon baller was the right answer. So I would not have given it to him. I think that's incorrect. But like I always tell Zachary, when you are the host, you're the one, jury, judge, and executioner. So
Yeah.
Yep.
if Zach had given it to him, I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. It's your call. You're the host. Your
I was
call.
an uninformed jury because I still did not know what a melon ball or melon baller was. So.
You know who needed an uninformed jury? The Melendez brothers.
Well played.
Oh, well, man.
Well played.
Oh, Christopher.
When you crawled underneath the desk after that answer, and then
Yeah.
Parrish crawled in after
And
you,
then we
that
stood up
was
together.
So
Yeah.
freaking funny.
That still hurts me inside.
Oh.
And you know what's always weird about this stupid show is you go through the week and you're like, well, nobody listened to that. And then you go somewhere and people are like, Melendez?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was telling these guys during the break, Friday was the most power trip I heard of the week because my girls were shopping in Paris and basically crushing my bank account. But they were going in a whole bunch of stores that I had no interest in. So I brought my AirPods with. So I'm walking the streets of Paris. They're spending money, and I'm listening to the Power Trip morning shows. I'm just cruising. It was the best. Cup of coffee, walking the streets of Paris.
That's the best.
It was the
Yeah.
best.
That sounds like fun.
It
Yeah.
was super fun. I actually liked it. And you were talking about, Chris, you mentioned that you I think you listened to a podcast about God dang it. What was it called? It was something like scheduled time
yeah.
versus what was it called?
Clock time versus event time.
Event time.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about it because I lived that on my trip because we had a flight to Amsterdam with a 55-minute layover. We had to haul balls.
Whoa.
We barely made it to the flight.
That's not a small airport.
No.
And we barely made it to our flight to Geneva, Switzerland. And then we had to fly from Switzerland. And we immediately got on a bus. Then we went to Annecy, France. My point is the first half of this trip, it was, we have to catch this train by then we have to go to this dinner. And then it was all scheduled the first 5 days between Annecy, Lyon. And then when we got to Paris, it was all the opposite. We'd be like, all right, we got to be at the Louvre at 6, but nothing until 6.
Yeah.
So that's another reason
You like
why I
Paris?
loved freaking Paris.
Yes.
It was there was all the pressure of catch this train, catch that plane, be here, be there. You have to catch this Uber by that time. All of that was off, and it was back to quote event time. And it was we just cruised the city. Like I just said, I just grabbed a cup of coffee and walked around the streets of Paris listening to you idiots screw up Melendez Brothers. And it was an awesome day. And I didn't really do anything except for go to the Louvre that night and watch my girls spend my money. Yeah. But it was awesome.
Yeah.
No pressure, no scheduling, no time, and it was just A+ event time.
Man, I got to tell you, I've really thought about that a lot since I read that or I listened to that podcast. And the whole, and I know, we all have things we have to do, but the whole idea, and it's so true, Marnie, if you were able to sit down and have lunch and not be on a schedule, you'd taste your food. You know what I mean? I've spent my life eating because I had to get food in my belly so I didn't pass out and then get to the next thing. And that's just one example. If you can have a little part of your day when you're just actually involved in your own life as opposed to getting it done so you got to get somewhere else, it just makes your day better.
And then what the name of the podcast is Clock Time versus...
No, I'm sorry. It was a TED Talk. It's the TED Radio Hour. And then I downloaded the guy's book, and it's a fascinating book. I'm bringing it up right now. It's called Meditations for Mortals, and it's by a guy by the name of Oliver Burkeman, Burkeman. I'm almost done with it. Meditations for Mortals. 4 weeks to embrace your limitations and make time for what counts.
It was just interesting because it hit me right between the eyes because I had just experienced exactly what we were talking about when you were talking about it. I'm like, God dang, it's true because I felt that burden lifted those last 4 days and obviously didn't consciously think of why. But as soon as you said that, I'm like, man, I'm going through that right now.
That's awesome.
This is so much better and not have to worry, not having to watch the clock.
That's a vacation right there.
That was a vacation.
That's a vacation.
And I loved Annecy and I loved Lyon, but Paris was next level because I didn't have to worry about anything. Just cruising, man.
Good for you, man.
Which is why Vegas rocks, because you just do kind of whatever you want.
It's like Vegas my way.
Yeah.
Right? You just do it your way.
The Insane Clown Posse on Thursday.
Right. Like if you do that.
Wow.
That's your way. That's Vegas Dov's way.
Yeah. True. And we got to do stuff for Dov, in his memory.
He died?
I don't know. I hope he's resting in peace wherever he's at.
Pour one out for Dov tonight. If you got some Faygo, pour it out.
Oh, he has a lemonade.
That's the name of the drink. Just everybody calm down.
Now it's time for Headlines.
Headlines brought to you by my friends at Wolf River Electric and WolfRiverElectric.com. We'll talk to Greenard in a second here, but until then, we'll do headlines. Go get those solar panels put on.
Hell yeah,
Wolf
man.
River Electric. Wolf River's the best. Those guys are the best.
The best.
All right, I think we've talked about this in the past. If not, I just want everybody to wrap their head around this. I love this fact. This is just fascinating to me. You guys know that the Oregon Trail started here in Minneapolis, right? Not the actual Oregon Trail, but the video
dysentery
game.
bit?
No. Yeah, I think the actual Oregon Trail
started in Minneapolis. That is correct.
They're playing the 7th Street entry on Friday.
Missouri started the actual Oregon Trail, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, but the video game created in Minneapolis by an 8th grade teacher in Minneapolis. Paul, your hands up.
The Oregon Trail's a real thing?
Yes, Paul.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
So check this out, though. Just wrap your head around this for a second. 8th grade teacher, Minneapolis, fall of 1971. That's when it was created.
Okay.
Prince was an 8th grade student at that school.
Are you kidding me?
So it's possible one of the first people on the apparently I don't know if they verified this, but it's possible one of the first people on the planet to play Oregon Trail was Prince.
Are you
Interesting.
kidding?
Wow.
That's what this says. Somebody fact check that, but if that's the case, that's pretty crazy because isn't it weird? There are things like that. I can't picture him playing that at any age. He's so eclectic and way out of the, I can't. He sat there and had to decide how to get across the river the same way we did?
I guess.
Like, you forget he's a real person.
And you know he made up weird names.
Yeah.
Right?
He and other students helped test the game.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. Wow. Like, Apollonia died of dysentery?
Oh, brilliant.
And here lies Apollonia? Here lies the revolution?
Yep.
Right? Come on, man.
So
little red carriage.
In 19...
Carriage.
Raspberries would be great.
Protect you from dysentery. Lots of vitamin C. In 1976, we played that in my 5th grade at Minneapolis Public School. And what you guys may not get about that is that there weren't computer monitors at that time. You didn't see the results on like a TV screen. It was a teletype machine. So it was like a typewriter plugged into a computer.
Oh, that sounds awful.
You would type in your answer and wait a second, and then it would automatically type back to you what happened.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But again, you said that sounds horrible.
That's nuts.
At that moment, you must have been like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's
witchcraft. This is cool. This is fun.
It's like the scene in Almost Famous where he's describing what a fax machine is. And somebody's got one, and it takes 20 minutes per page or something like that.
yeah.
It only takes 20 minutes a page.
Right.
Yes. Right.
Wow.
That's insane.
Prince played that game.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, if you just heard the line Prince liked Oregon Trail, you'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But if he's one of the first one to ever play it and helped, basically workshop it, that's even crazier. Shout out to Prince.
Tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1848.
Sauce. All right, you get it.
Good.
Change a Prince song title to fit Oregon Trail.
Purple dysentery, purple dysentery.
Do it again without any reference to dysentery.
It's his go-to. It's his Oregon.
Hold
Or
on.
Purple Rain.
Purple tombstone, purple tombstone. I'm playing it right now. You can still play
You're
it.
playing Purple Tombstone right now?
No, I'm playing Oregon Trail. I'm at the general store.
Oh, man.
I've never played it. We did
You've
not have
never
it.
played
man, I
it? It's
crushed
fun.
it.
It's
We didn't have it,
fun.
man. I'm going to guess because it was from here that you guys had it. We never had it.
I was real terrible at it in 1976. Couldn't shoot. You have to type quickly to shoot the rabbit.
Oh, that's
think
the best
that-
part.
And it was
Hunting
learning
was
the
the best.
arrows and the
Shooting
commands.
bears.
I think my friend Stephanie was telling me they still use a version of it in schools
I'm
now,
sure.
I think.
Yeah, is there an updated one?
Something like that. I
Well,
think that's true.
And that was the whole point is you were supposed to learn about how difficult and daunting that trail was. But
Right.
none of us cared about the history. We just wanted to shoot animals and try to get across the river.
Maybe it's a math version. Didn't you guys have a math one too?
We had number munchers.
Number
that was
munchers,
fun,
maybe
yeah.
that-
Odell Lake.
Yeah.
A lot of bangers.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Odell
that
Lake
played
was
Power
fun.
Forward. Dude.
Dope.
There is a version in 2021, 2, 3,
Not very
and
many of
4 that for Xbox
Well
and
played.
PlayStation 4 and 5 and Nintendo Switch. Developed by Gameloft, produced by Gameloft.
Yeah.
Was when you guys played Oregon Trail, was there any cooperative play or is it just all on your own?
All on your own.
Because we played a kind of a version called Wagon Train 1848, and that was a co-op in the computer lab, and we were all like playing as a class together, and we got in trouble because we started voting. You could actually vote people off.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We
What a
started
terrible idea that
we
is.
started kicking people off and leaving them for dead.
Wow. That's sad.
Oh.
That's cyberbullying.
Yeah. Wow.
Dennis got voted off first again. Oh, man. That's rough.
That's
Poor
terrible.
Dennis.
All right, I mentioned this earlier, but again, I experienced this AWS shutdown outage yesterday because I was flying Delta on the way back, and we had a 4-hour delay because of the freaking flight plan not getting downloaded. But if you didn't get affected, here was the list that was affected by this AWS outage. Multiple web services shut down yesterday, including Amazon, Alexa, Ring, Reddit, Snapchat, Wordle, Duolingo, Roblox, Fortnite, Coinbase, Robinhood, Venmo, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Hinge, United Airlines, Delta, Canva, Flickr, McDonald's, and the AP and NPR. So, Zach, you were talking about this before the show with me for 10 seconds. I think you used the analogy eggs in a basket, right? Like you might not want to have all your eggs in a basket. This is maybe a good example of how many of our services and things that we just use and take for granted are all connected to maybe a handful of things. And if one of those goes down, the trickle down effect is nuts.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought that an Amazon web service was connected to this many things? You just, you're like, that must be Amazon. Well, if you're an idiot like me, you go, how does that affect Delta?
Yeah, right.
I had no idea when they said it was a computer problem. I thought maybe a computer problem with the actual plane or maybe Delta's website or processing. Had no idea it was connected to this giant system. AWS goes down and I get stuck in an airport for 4 hours. It sucked.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
There's really only 3 main players in this, but Amazon is by far the largest. And as we saw yesterday, it's kind of scary
Massive.
because if there's somebody, a group that can, hack that enough. I mean, we're lucky it was already done by the afternoon.
Is there any chance that's what happened and we don't know it, Zacho?
Potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. The first time I saw it, I was like, did somebody, and they don't want to tell us?
Right.
Yeah, they would not want to tell us.
They would not know.
It could have been a ransomware thing like we saw with MGM a couple years ago. Remember everything went down at those MGM resorts for a while. That was super bad. I mean,
that might save me if that happens when we get to Vegas.
It just goes down.
There's some nerds in the UK that probably have all your info now, Chris.
Yeah, that's cool, all right.
Man.
They now have a password to browsers.
They got some pictures they don't want to see, I'll tell you that.
All right, man, you know what? Greenard just started calling, otherwise I was going to do a toilet story. This is going to have to wait 10 minutes.
Just do it with Jonathan.
All right, that's a good idea.
Start.
See, look at on-air production meeting. We're going to start with this. We're going to start with Jonathan. Hang on.
Boy.
He's going to love this or hate it. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Great idea, Zachary. You don't even know where I'm going with this, but we're going to find out.
Okay, I think he is there.
Hi, Jonathan.
Good morning. Y'all hear me good?
Yeah,
Good
we hear
morning.
you.
We got you. So, look, here's the deal. I was just about to read a story, and then the phone rang. And so we were going to move on and talk football, but Zach over there was like, well, just talk about it with Jonathan. So that's what we're going to do. So stick tight. You're going to be able to comment on this. Check this out, Jonathan. Are you familiar with Kohler, like the toilet company? They make sinks and stuff.
Yes.
Kohler just debuted a new toilet camera that watches you go to the bathroom and then uses an algorithm to analyze the results and track your health.
Yeah.
Jonathan, let's talk pros and cons here.
The only way I can get down with it is if, well, no, I still can't. But maybe if it's like a parenting thing to kind of keep track of when your kid goes to the potty or kind of, do something with your potty training. But as an adult, I honestly don't see the use for it.
But I mean, if it's analyzing your health, if it's somehow figuring out, wow, you have some kind of an indicator for some serious disease, sure.
See, maybe, if they're testing out the urine or whatever fecal example, and maybe they're trying to eliminate one less doc visit, I don't know. But if that's the case, maybe I can get behind it, but still, overall, I think I'm good at regulating my own stuff when it comes to
Jonathan, I mentioned this last week. I didn't realize that it was something that the Vikings bring with you, but when after the game, they're in the locker room, I go to the restroom before we get on the buses so I don't have to, hold it for 13 hours. And the little thing that tells you whether or not you're dehydrated by your pee, that's fascinating. I didn't know you guys brought that along with you everywhere you went.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I don't have to carry that in my backpack. But, it's one of the things that I've grown to actually, learn to like it just because, it is a good thing to kind of keep track of like your hydration because sometimes you can feel like you drank 2 bottles or you drink enough, but then you go to that thing, that's like the moment of truth. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely helps out. But maybe, like I said, that's the only thing I could see going inside my toilet maybe ever. But the last thing is definitely going to be a camera. That's for sure.
So you don't want to grab a Microsoft Surface and analyze your poop after you're done, correct?
No, listen, I don't need anything with all these data leaks and all this stuff. I don't need anything going out the type of way that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm good off of that.
So according to this, it just scans. It looks down into the toilet, so it would. Well, they claim at least that it would not technically videotape. I don't know.
That's what they say.
All it takes is one hack, right? They tilt the camera just slightly up, and somebody's paying for that. You know this.
Then next you have to be accepting cookies and online and stuff like that. All that thing. All like this. So I'm good, Cole. I appreciate it, Cole. I love the idea, but I'll be out of that one. But if you're still looking for any type of, shameless plug, throw some my way, I'm definitely all ears.
There you go.
It's a $600 toilet cam.
Yeah.
No thanks. All right. Moving on. Jonathan, you play, it's a short week. You guys just played Philadelphia a couple days ago, but you're going to Los Angeles tomorrow and playing the Chargers on Thursday. Short week. We can probably ask you this question every year, but just in general, what do you think of Thursday night games, the pros and cons of the short week coming off the loss to Philly?
I mean, me personally, the short weeks don't really kind of like bother us too much. I think they do a good job taking care of us just because it's like you're already in the swing of playing ball. Your body kind of didn't really shut all the way down from the last game. So you just try to just keep it moving. It's kind of like you say, a short week. So, obviously the only, I guess, somewhat challenge is obviously traveling across the country a little bit. But at the same time, it's still, the same logistical plan that I believe that, they set us up for success every time within our organization. So, me personally, I like it. So it's a pro for me.
All right, so Jonathan, stay with me for a second. Our friend Ben Maller, Chris and Sauce, you guys know Ben Maller.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Maller does a show before us by like an hour, and he said something that I never thought of. He said that a couple of years ago we heard a whole bunch of people complaining about Thursday night games, that the lineup wasn't very good, the schedule wasn't very good, that at some point we got to get these Thursday night games to be better, or Amazon's going to be really pissed. But he also said, and this sounded very conspiracy theory, and I want to know if you are able to comment on this. He said he's convinced that the NFL players were behind the scenes told to stop complaining about Thursday nights, because he's like, the players have gone quiet the last couple of years about the short week. How you just said it doesn't really affect you that much. Is that even something that happens? Like, do you guys get, what's the word I'm looking for? Like memos?
Called to the principal's office.
Exactly. Like a memo going like, hey, cool, if you guys are not fans of Thursday night, could you please stop complaining to the media about Thursday nights? Is that something that actually happens?
Look, to my knowledge, absolutely not. I'll be transparent. Yeah, I have not got that message yet. Honestly, it's kind of, and it kind of boils down to when people ask me about certain things, the London game and things of that sort. Like, it's cool, but at the end of the day, like, we still got to go out there and perform. So, like, I think it's more of a, you can complain and listen at the same time, but it's like, what is going to happen? What can they do immediately that's going to change anything? So you kind of like expressing any type of like concern, like at least right now during the season, is never going to lead to anything good, but, possibly a fine just because you're criticizing over X, Y, Z. But, I don't know. All the conspiracy theories, I mean, trust me, it may seem like a lot of these things happen based off of like what, I had a guy tell me one time they thought it was conspiracy theory just based off of how we play or play happened or something like that. I'm like, listen, if you truly think that we're out there trying to have some type of conspiracy when God's running full speed at us, please rethink again. So, I don't know about that to answer. That's a long-winded answer, but I haven't heard that.
Hey, Jonathan, the Chargers' offensive line is not what they started with. Their number one left tackle, Rashawn Slater, is out. He was out in preseason. Then they moved Joe Alt to left tackle. He's now out. Their backups at both tackle positions are questionable. How do you guys attack and look forward to maybe a banged-up offensive line?
As we know, we can't take anyone for granted at this point, whether they're a starter, first-time starter, whatever rookie case may be. We give everybody the same respect, just because that's what happens. That's when bad things happen, when you go in there underestimate your opponent. But we do use it as an opportunity to try to, execute our stuff to the way that we want to. We have an attacking scheme, and we want to continue to try to do. And having newer guys in there, it can kind of be a little difficult for their communication. But it's a matter of we're just going to not switch our things up and just go in there and go even harder than we were before, just because it's an opportunity where we should have these advantages. But at the end of the day, as we know in the league, everybody gets paid in any given Sunday or Thursday in this case. But I like ourselves to go out there and try to get back on track.
To kind of go back to one question here, I was just reading an article about Dre Greenlaw, Broncos linebacker, getting, I believe he got suspended for a game for basically being what they call abusive and threatening or insulting language towards an official. Obviously, some things happened last week with the officials. We weren't happy about it. It happens every game. Do you have to monitor yourself, or do you go into each game knowing which referees you can maybe talk to a little bit more than others?
Well, we know which referees. We're going to get at the top of the week. Well, not at the top of the week, at the end of the week, kind of. Once we have our team meeting, and we know the officials, the white hat that we're going to get every week in their whole crew. So you kind of get, me being my 6th year in the league, I've kind of dealt with pretty much every set of referees that we have in the league now. Like you say, some are a little more lenient than others. Others, we're going to let the TV and the TV copies do the talking, and obviously y'all will see the stuff that's going on too. Mm-hmm. But as we all know, you can't say anything about them. They literally can do whatever they want, and we just have to go with the flow. They know they make some tough calls and bad calls, and the NFL will come around and change those things. You see it as the reports later on and say, hey, that should have been X, Y, Z, whatever the case may be. But I think that's the part that's a little unfair. The fact that, we can't be human and express ourselves. We're already in a high intensity game. Our emotions are high. Everybody wants to win. So the fact that they kind of monitor it in the sense of it being personal is kind of like, that's where the issue kind of lies. And I don't think Dre, at all was, ever going to hit the referee or ever going to do something to the guy. I feel like when I watched the video that he was just saying, listen, you almost gave them the game. And the fact that they won it, you kind of can get beside yourself a little bit in that instance. And I think we all been there or wanted to be there in a sense. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he did basically what a lot of guys would want to do is say something to the referees because we feel like they get no ramifications or any issues at all whenever they have a quote unquote bad call. Then New York comes in and saves them. So, you know, it's a lot of things that go into it. I'm pretty sure if he would do it again, he probably would, just because it's that type of game and a lot of things are at stake. So for them to kind of take it in that type of perspective, I mean, based off of what history says, I see why he would get fined just because you say anything about him, it's going to happen. But to the players on our side, we definitely know that. We know that he wasn't going to do anything crazy. We've all been there and said some things to the refs and this and that. The fact that referee wanted to take it personal and make it about him, and now that he's gotten fined, that's just the result you get. So we're going to keep trying to fight it, try to just do our things on the field. But obviously, when it comes to that aspect in the offseason, we'll try to handle that as best as possible, just so that we can get some accountability and consistency when it comes to the referees and their calls.
Jonathan Greenard joins us here Tuesday mornings on the Power Trip. Nard Dog, the Eagles on Sunday went ahead and tried a tush push at one point in the game, a play that they have perfected, made famous, et cetera, et cetera. We saw something from your defense that we haven't seen before. And Tyler Batty essentially just flat out dead man laid down, and it was brilliant and genius. Can you kind of take us through the week of learning about this strategy, how it hit you, maybe like it hit some of us as fans going, oh my God, how did nobody think of that? That is genius. And the execution of that play.
Yeah, that was all the coaching staff, man. They literally came to us with a plan literally at the top of the week, like, listen, we got a plan for it. And they put it on the board, and we kind of all would kind of like to laugh a little bit and kind of like, what in the world? But when you think about it, you know, when we got there and actually, you know, practiced it, it made sense just because, you know, it's a low man's game. You know, when you're on the ground and you got all fours, you know, as an offensive team, when you see them in that position, you can't get any lower than that somebody on the ground. So It's like you can try to move them out the way, I guess, try to scrape them across the turf by driving your legs, but it doesn't work when you got somebody else pushing on top of them to a person that's laying flat on the ground. So I think personally, the plan was pretty cool. It may look crazy, but I think it works. I think we may have given some people some type of idea in a sense. And me personally, I know that, not personally, we know that was a stop. He wasn't near. I mean, not say he wasn't near. He didn't get the first down on that, and everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. So we kind of gave everybody somewhat of a recipe to stop it. But it's definitely a good play for them, for sure.
Jonathan, thanks as always, man. Good luck against the Chargers 2 nights from now.
Appreciate y'all. Always have a good
Thank
one.
you, Jonathan.
See you later.
Jonathan Greenard of the Minnesota Vikings.
As I just got a text from somebody, how many morning shows would talk to the pro player about pooping as the very first
It was toilet cam.
It's the Power Trip morning
It
show.
wasn't necessarily pooping.
We are
It was
on brand. Is what I'm saying.
It was health related. We're worried about his health.
Well, and I didn't.
Scan your fecal matter, man.
I didn't want to get too into the weeds about peeing and the thing about hydration, but the amount of pride I take in being dehydrated.
Good for you.
Being hydrated is unbelievable, and being able to aim at that thing, it just makes peeing a pure pleasure.
Oh yeah,
You gamify it.
It does.
It's like a whack-a-mole.
gamify everything.
I thought he brought up a good point, though. Who has to carry that in their backpack?
Yeah, I think Tommy volunteers.
I did on the Oregon Trail.
It's in his carry-on. That's
Yeah.
All right, last one. This is a really quick headline, but you just can't make this up. You guys remember the show Newhart?
Oh yeah. Which one?
The actual show
second one.
Newhart, not the Bob Newhart show, just Newhart. The one that ran from
Second
82
one,
to 90,
sure.
and then it was the whole dream
Got
of
it.
it. I was born in 1980, so I don't remember Newhart outside of one line that they said almost every episode, which was
My brother Daryl.
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. And you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There can't be two Daryls. Here's the final headline of the show for Tuesday, October 21st of 2025. A guy in Kentucky is accused of shooting and killing his other brother. The guy that killed his brother is named Darrell, Darrel. Mm-hmm. He killed his brother, Darrell, Darryl.
Wow.
So
One too many Darryls.
Daryl
There can be only one.
and his other brother, Daryl. Two
There's no
Daryls
Daryl, only Daryl.
spelled differently, and one
Yeah.
Daryl killed the other Daryl. This is my brother, Daryl. And this is my other brother, Daryl.
Is his last name Melendez?
Well,
Marty, come on. I was feeling so good.
Well, they're brothers.
Marnes, we're going to miss you on Friday. No
Yeah,
Marnie
I wish
in
you were going
Vegas,
to be there,
man.
Marnes.
Well,
What if I buy you a
Marnes,
ticket?
Hit that max bet for me, fellas.
oh, we will.
Get that leprechaun
Oh, yeah.
in that bag of
If I were to buy
coins.
you a ticket right now, would you go?
I've got to play a volleyball game on Thursday night, so
Well, best of luck.
Just- just-
Position
just-
Stay healthy.
Congrats.
It's Chaska
Muskie
and
doing?
Waconia. Well, he's not playing.
Stay golden, pony boy.
I'll think of you.
All right. We'll see you in a week, Marnes. Johnny Bones, thanks for the time,
Have a
man.
great trip,
TwinsDaily.com.
See you Friday, baby.
We're back. Oh, that's right. We'll see you Thursday in Vegas. We're back tomorrow, 5:30 to 9, 9 to noon is next.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You too, Abba Dabba. Enjoy this wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great one.